Hello, amazing ladies. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mireille. I go by Mireille Nicole in my coaching practice. I'm a relationship coach for women who are either going through divorce, in their marriage, but looking to make the marriage the best it can be, or maybe things are a little bit rocky, or for women who are chronically single or just single and are ready to have their happily ever after. In today's video, we are going to talk about 3 big and bold decisions you may be faced with in your love life. And actually, I would say the first decision is something we should all decide to make if we haven't already. Now, that would be a big decision that would be valuable to you, whether you're divorced, married, or single. I am so excited for today's topic. Let me know if you are too. If you're watching, say hi in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so now. All right, let's just dive in. 3 big and bold decisions to make in your love life. Number 1, the first decision to make in your love life is to start putting yourself first. Out of all the videos that you watch of mine, if there's one piece of information I want you to retain is this. Always putting yourself first, even in love. So what does this mean? Especially when we're talking about love, right? So this means taking your man off the pedestal and putting yourself there instead. And while you're at it, you can remove all the people's judgment and opinions of you from that pedestal at the same time, okay? Putting yourself first is about taking radical responsibility for your own happiness and for your own life in general. So it's not about trying to control or change others like your man. It's about recognizing that you are the only one that has complete power over your emotions, your thoughts, and your happily ever after relationship. When you put yourself first, you start taking better care of yourself, you start respecting yourself more, and you honor your true worth, okay? And you truly start loving yourself. And this gets reflected in your actions. It gets reflected in your actions with others, in your interactions with men, and the decisions you make in your love life and in your life in general. And people start taking notice. Men will also start taking notice, right? It's when you start embodying the queen that you are. Okay, I realize this is super high level what I'm saying, so I'm just going to give you an example right now, okay? So this is from my own personal life. So when things started getting rocky in my own relationship with my dream man after divorce, I started doing what a lot of us women start doing, right? I started panicking. I was trying to figure out, okay, what can I do to make everything good again? What do I do to get him, to get things back to where they were in the beginning when it was exciting and it was the honeymoon phase? I kept asking myself, what could I do to make him happy? I found myself walking on eggshells a lot of the time. And I thought maybe I should see if we could even go to couples therapy to try to work things out. So as you can see, I was really focused on my man and I was really focused on the relationship, but I wasn't focused on myself. And actually, I have a history of doing this when I think back of my marriage, my first marriage. Before I got divorced, I had a hard time making decisions because, again, I was focused on what it would mean for my ex-husband and what others would think and what impact that would have on my son. So again, I was all about the external circumstances around me and the people around me. Both circumstances, I was just focusing my attention elsewhere other than on myself. And guess what that was doing? It was just making things worse, right? When I started focusing on me instead, regardless of what everyone else was thinking, with intention, of course, right? With the greatest good of everyone else in mind, that's when everything started changing. So that's when I got my clarity. I was able to make big and bold decisions, right? And that's when I found that other people around me started interacting differently, right? I was able to turn things around with my dream man after divorce. And in fact, it's when I started putting myself first, when he finally proposed to me and we got married 6 months later. So this absolutely works, I'm telling you, okay? Now, I know some of you get concerned that putting yourself first might sound selfish, but again, putting yourself first isn't about doing things with bad intentions toward other people or to hurt other people or to ignore other people, right? It's actually a way to encourage others to do the same for themselves and to value themselves and to help others make big, bold, powerful decisions that will make them happier in their life. So you become that guiding light, that shining beacon, that example for them. So never shy away from putting yourself first and being yourself for other people. It gives other people permission to be themselves too at the same time. So again, as long as you do it with intention, with the greatest benefit of everyone else in mind and not to hurt anyone, you're all good. Okay. And you'll notice when you start putting yourself first, that's when you start really reclaiming your power. That's when your wounds start healing faster. That's a big one that a lot of women struggle with, past wounds and past relationships that keep lingering and following them in their next relationship or prevent them from being in their happily ever after relationship. And you also become magnetic to men, right? And who wouldn't want that, right? To have the men magnetic attracted to them and not having to go out and search and hunt, right? It's the man's job to hunt. It's not the woman's job, okay? You are the queen, they come after you. So actually, if you want to know more about this, I talk a lot about this in greater detail in my video about going from divorce or rocky marriage or chronically single to your happily ever after relationship. So I'll link to it up here for those of you who are watching on YouTube. And if you're watching on Facebook, just go in my video section and you will find it there, okay? Because there's actually a unique and proven way to put yourself first so that you can get through divorce faster, heal your wounds, and be in your dream relationship, okay? And that's what I guide women through with my happily ever after method. It's not about just putting yourself first any willy-nilly way, right? There's an actual proven strategy and process for doing this that I guide women through. So, all right, number 2, the second decision to make in love is, should you stay or should you go? And I have a lot of women reach out to me who are in this predicament. So they're married, they're in a relationship, and they toggle back and forth, right? In deciding what they should do to make their happily ever after fairy tale a reality. And just a warning, stop watching this video now if you get triggered by powerful women who put themselves first and fully own their choices, okay? Because I'm going to share a bit of a personal story with you because I was in that same predicament, okay? This was my dilemma 7 years ago. So back then I had the picture perfect little family, the white picket fence house, a stable daily routine, a solid corporate job. It was way easier for me to keep my love life the way it was, right? To stay the way it was in love in my relationship even for financial reasons, for logistical reasons, right? It would have been way more comfortable for me to avoid people's judgment, guilt. But at the same time, I would have forever felt this desire that I just couldn't shake off, right? It kept talking to me. It kept coming back. So I had to listen to this little voice inside my head. So inside my heart, I should say, right? So one day, ripped off the Band-Aid, had done a lot of the inner work related to love, right? And I made this life-altering decision for myself, right? And I have to say, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. So I totally get you. I totally feel you. If this is the situation you're finding yourself in, you don't want to hurt anyone. You don't want to let them down. You don't want to let yourself down, right? But this is what happened to me, okay? So I had a great first husband. I now have a great ex-husband. And plus, I have my dream relationship with my current husband. All right. It all comes down to having massive clarity in terms of what you want for your life and specifically your love life, right? And also having a tremendous amount of trust in yourself, trust that you will be okay, trust that you can manage the emotions that come along with a big decision like that. Trust that you will have your happily ever after relationship, that you will find the one. And this, ladies, is all stuff you can work on, right? This is just like a muscle that you train, these new habits. Because right now, if you're not feeling it that way, if you're not seeing it that way, it's likely because you've trained yourself the other way, right? In the opposite fashion. And all the work that you have to do now is just switch it the other way. And if you can switch it one way, you can switch it back the other way, right? So you can do it both ways. You've just trained yourself. You created this pattern. And this is something you can definitely work on, okay? And this all comes down to acquiring the specific skills that you need to get through divorce faster, okay? And then be in that relationship with your dream man, if that's what you desire next, or just be in that relationship with yourself as a first step, okay? It all happens when you do the work on you. And I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it'll happen overnight, but you get to make it happen, okay? And I help women and give them the tools to do this faster. Number three, the final decision. So the third decision to make in love is getting support. So I alluded to this throughout the video, but I see a lot of women who are confused about whether or not they should seek support in their love lives, right? And one thing I noticed, even for myself, is that a lot of us feel like we need to be figuring this out for ourselves. Okay. Most of us, we haven't been taught how to be in a strong relationship or how to interact with men. We might have seen it from our parents, but again, we just kind of see it and we have to figure it out. So we go through our lives dating, dumping guys, being dumped by guys, trying to figure out what happened, piecing it all back together the best we can, and then trying again. Okay. And we get into this hamster wheel. And hey, if you succeed, if you win the jackpot, you work your way out of the hamster wheel and you have your happily ever after relationship. But a lot of us are in the hamster wheel a lot longer than we want to and a lot longer than we have to. So it doesn't have to be that way. So if you're asking yourself, should I do therapy? Should I do coaching? Do I just self-coach, which I see a lot of women try to do? Again, you may get there. It will take you longer. Do it all if you desire, right? Think of an athlete, think of a professional athlete. Do they self-coach themselves? Well, in a way they do, but I can't think of very many professional elite athletes that have done it all on their own, okay? And do they have, if you think about it too, do they have one be-all end-all person? No, they have a team of people, right? They have a coach, they have a physiotherapist, they have a doctor, they have a sports nutritionist, they have, again, themselves, and probably a lot of other people I'm not thinking about right now. So you can build as big of a team as you feel for your love life, and this is all interconnected with other areas of your life, okay? So other people that you work with will also help you in love to a certain extent, but you can do this based on how important, right? How much of a priority this is in your life, right? And what's good for your personal situation. So successful people never do it alone. Most successful people in the world have support of some kind. And like I said, the ability to make big decisions doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen faster when you have a coach or you have support there to guide you through it, right? You can get the right skills that you need to make your relationship amazing by working with someone who's been there and who knows what to do, all right? It's always going to be easier to put yourself first when someone's guiding you and showing you your blind spot. So if you want more support on this and to dig deeper into your own personal situation, please reach out to me and we can have a chat to see if we're a good fit to work together. So reach out, or you can find me on Instagram at I am Mireille Nicole. I hope this was absolutely mind-blowing and eye-opening for you. Make sure to let me know what you think. That's it for today, and I will see you ladies next time.